Right, let's completely switch gears. Let's come back here at home, here in Charlotte. Say it ain't so. Well, here's a live look at I-85. We bring this up because we want to take you outside. Say it ain't so. Heat, humidity, sunshine. I'm looking at Majestic the entire time saying this.
I'm like, this is like a story. I feel like he's starting a storybook, and this is like the intro. I'm like, where's he going with this?
And Majestic didn't even know I'm looking at her for accountability. Like,
well, you're right on track. I was waiting for like timing. I was waiting for you to just keep on going.
It was very dramatic of me on a Monday morning.
It was good though. It was attention grabbing, so that's good.
It's already kind of like the air is very thick outside.
Yeah.
Air you can wear.
Muggy.
Yeah.
Very muggy. But we had rain over the weekend. We've had measurable rain over the last 3 days. I kind of enjoyed the cool down though.
Ruined
Did you?
my Sunday run on Sunday.
You didn't like it?
I don't like running in the rain.
Oh.
I am not one of those runners. No, I will hit a treadmill.
Well, did you? Oh, so you did inside run?
Yeah, I don't like to do it.
Okay.
I don't
Well,
like
that
to do
makes sense. It's gonna be hot again. So I enjoyed it because I knew in my head we were only going to stay cool and damp and rainy and overcast for a few days, and then now we're back on track to sunshine, hot, humid temperatures and conditions. So let's get into it because I want to start off with something important. I know many of you're just back on track to your work week. We had a great weekend. If you enjoyed the cooler temperatures like I did and the little bit of rain, it made for a really cozy, relaxing weekend. But now we're getting you ready specifically for tomorrow, Tuesday. We have issued a WCNC weather impact alert, and I know this has nothing to do with today's forecast, but truthfully, this is the most important part. Am I doing good like you?
I like yours better than mine.
Most
important
part.
Look, I just saw Odyssey this weekend, so I'm feeling very just to be or not to be.
Okay, all right, Tuesday. Yeah, this is gonna be the most important part of the forecast because we have strong to severe thunderstorms heading our direction. So for tomorrow, if you have any plans, I think the first half of the day it is going to be fine. You'll notice the heat and the humidity. Remember, the heat and humidity, that's fuel for those afternoon and evening storms. So don't be fooled when you wake up and it's fine. Those storms are going to take a little while to actually build and to form. Really between 2 o'clock in the afternoon and 10 p.m. tomorrow, that's when the strongest storms will likely form. We're going to be watching for everything, you guys. Tomorrow it's going to be brief, heavy downpours, ponding out on area roadways. Where we see those heavy downpours, it'd be a smart idea to also plan for localized flooding. Not only that, but there's a high risk for strong damaging winds tomorrow. That's going to be the #1 concern. So strong winds with this line of thunderstorms that'll be sweeping through our viewing area. So this is my warning to you, just a suggestion. If you have things outside that might blow away or get damaged, now's a good time to make sure it's all secured. You might want to bring it inside. I always like to look at my plants or any cushions from outdoor furniture that might blow away. Make sure that's all good to go. We'll be watching for not only strong damaging winds, but we also have a small risk of a spin-up tornado somewhere really in the state of North Carolina. Now, it's not a high risk for tornadoes. In fact, that's not even the #1 concern. We just need you to know that tomorrow the ingredients will be in place for severe weather for a huge part of our state. So with that being said, remember, here on the WCNC Charlotte app, we are always streaming for you. We always have new content. We're always watching radar, especially on these weather impact alert days. So if you have a strong storm pass through your neighborhood, you can always tune on the app, and then we'll be tracking those radar problems for you. This is what we're watching for tomorrow, though. Large hail in addition to the wind. So we're talking about wind, strong damaging winds within those thunderstorm cells. So not everyone will get those strong damaging winds, but some of those storms could be very powerful, producing winds up to around 60 miles an hour and even stronger. Not only that, but we got to be mindful that strong hail is also going to be associated with this front that passes through, even large-sized hail. So damaging wind risk, let's start with this. So this is going to be Tuesday. You see that area shaded in red? That's where the area for the most damaging wind is going to be a little bit heightened. So if you live right around areas in Charlotte, north of that, right along the I-40 corridor, and even north of that, that is where the strongest winds will likely happen as the storms start to form. not only the wind, but remember I mentioned the hail. And I noticed since living in the Carolinas, we don't oftentimes have a big problem with hail compared to the Midwest areas that I've forecasted for in the past. So this one is definitely catching my attention. Hail Tuesday afternoon and evening, wouldn't be surprised to see that within some of those thunderstorm cells. And then remember that small spin up tornado, 1 or 2 of them could be possible, so it's important to make sure your weather alerts are on, make sure you have a way to receive the latest information from our team here, because we'll be tracking that really carefully for you. All right, so we got that out of the way because that's the most important thing you need to know. Tuesday forecast, we have a weather impact alert because of strong storms, mainly afternoon and evening. Now today, the big story is that we are looking a whole lot different compared to what we looked like over the weekend. We went from dreary and cooler and overcast and rainy and a little drizzly. Now today, sunny skies, going to be hot, back into the 90s, even humid. Now this evening, here's about 6 o'clock tonight, could see a couple of isolated storms pop up. This will be south of Charlotte though. Remember, those isolated storms, sometimes they pack a punch, bringing those heavy downpours and gusty winds. Now this is 7 o'clock on Tuesday morning, so if you are somebody who likes to wake up, go out for a run or walk, it is going to be up. Nick has
I have both hands up. Oh, okay.
You think this is just a personalized forecast for you?
It sounds like it. Sounds like it.
Okay, tomorrow you won't have to deal with the rain if you get out early, okay? It's still going to be very humid, temperatures into the 70s, but watch what happens here. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning. Focusing on the I-40 corridor, mainly north of that. That's where this line starts to form. Within that line, remember, strong damaging winds, hail, we could see those heavy downpours, localized flooding. This is 4 o'clock now on Tuesday, okay? This is when it starts to get a little closer to the Mecklenburg County area. We're starting to see those pockets of reds and oranges. That's where the rain's coming down so intensely, where if you are traveling, it might even reduce down visibility at times. So if you are driving tomorrow and you get stuck in this, it is going to be windy and raining, frequent lightning strikes. Of course, would not be surprised to see that. So slow things down. So this is 5 o'clock for our Tuesday. Once we head into that 6 o'clock hour, that line is tracking now more south and east of Charlotte, but it's still in our viewing area. And look at those temperatures, still into the 90s. I mean, that's going to be that fuel for those strong storms to form. Behind the front, though, you can see how those temperatures start to cool. Then as we're heading into our Wednesday kind of sets the tone for the rest of the week, which means it's going to be a little bit cooler and more enjoyable. So our forecast for tomorrow, really it's going to be into the afternoon that those temperatures increase, the instability rises, that's fuel for storms, and you just need to be mindful of that. How much rain are we actually going to get? Now our models, they're not always agreeing, and it seems like they never agree most of the time, but a lot of them are picking up on anywhere from about 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches of rain as we're looking at Tuesday. Now it will depend on where those storms set up and where we get those heavy downpours. If you live in a flood-prone area, the ground has been pretty saturated over the last several days, so be on the lookout for that. I wanted to show you a live camera look outside now in Kannapolis because it's actually really pretty. The problem this morning out on those area roadways actually has been the fog. Many people woke up to pockets of dense fog. I've been tracking that this morning on WCNC over on traffic. At this point, a lot of the fog has already mixed out, which means we're on track to see a beautiful day. Still warm though, almost 80 degrees, and it's just after 9 o'clock this morning. It's not just the air temperature, truthfully. It's the dew points. When you want to know how muggy it's going to be, look at the dew points because this measures the true moisture in the atmosphere. Dew points, even if you're looking at the weather on your phone, if you look at the dew points and they're in the 70s before you head out the door, you better believe it's incredibly muggy, and right now our dew point is 75, so that's very high here in Charlotte. The fog has already gotten a lot better. Still, you can see that bullseye where it's lingering there down across Cheraw, less than a mile of visibility. Salisbury, this is I-85 there where traffic is flowing fine, but earlier this is where the fog was really dense, so we're seeing great improvements there. We should be at 90 degrees. That's our average daytime high for today. It is July 27th. We are just wrapping up the month of July. A few more days left. Can you believe that? Then we'll be into August. So warm, muggy, sunny though. The sunshine returns. I'm looking forward to that today. 92 here in Charlotte, 90 degrees degrees to the south of us there in Rock Hill. Over the next 10 days, notice how those temperatures spike up tomorrow. A high of 94 tomorrow, and with that heat, that's going to provide those storms the ability to form. Then that front sweeps through, and temperatures will be into the 80s for the rest of the week. Notice those rain chances, they go up tomorrow, they go back down for several days, and then it seems like we could have another system that could bring more widespread rain as we are heading into our weekend, especially by Sunday. Here's the Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast. So 92 degrees today. We should be at 90, so we're slightly above that. Notice we do have a 20% chance for a stray shower or storm. So it's low chances, but it's not zero. And right now our models are indicating if one of those storms form, it would be south of Charlotte today. Overnight temperatures only drop to about 73 degrees, so it's a very warm and muggy start to your Tuesday morning, but we're dry, so if you need to do anything outside tomorrow, get it done sooner rather than later. Showers and storms will be possible anytime after 2 o'clock for your Tuesday through about 10 p.m. That's when we could see some severe weather. Severe weather means strong to severe thunderstorms that could produce strong damaging winds, hail, even a spin-up tornado. So we'll be tracking that for you tomorrow. Then after that, still holding on to the sunshine, and then temperatures will hold steady into the upper 80s, which will be pretty nice and near where we should be for this time of the year.
Whew, Majestic.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
I know, but
I'm
I got
trying
you
to keep
covered.
up. What's the meme with the equations are flashing through your face and you just look confused? That was me.
It was?
That was me. I wasn't confused, but it was just like a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot in a good way.
You're trying to like start your day. Meanwhile, I'm like almost done with my day. You're
Weather
like
alert,
trying to wake up.
heat,
You're like, what's going
humidity, dew point. No.
on? There's a lot. I just think mostly typical summer-like pattern.
Yeah.
But tomorrow's focus is a
Yeah.
bit of a concern because of the severe threat.
Yeah, yeah. Majestic, that's all. Can we show that? Was me.
What?
That look. That was.
I
me.
found it.
Oh, that is hilarious. Is that?
Just trying
That's
to keep
what
up.
was happening with you.
In real time, trying to keep up. Keep up in a great way. I like picking on Majestic. So there you go.
It's always a treat when you're in here.
Majestic Storm, thank you for stopping by per
course.
usual. Let's head to break, guys. We'll be back here in just 2 minutes here on Live Impact News on the WCNC Charlotte.